and welcome back to Let's Play Unreal World. I am Wolfric. Now we're getting pretty comfortable with what we're doing. We've got some meat preserving that's going to really help us out in the coming months. We've got our bear fur is here, it's tanning, it's going to be ready by night, it's still late evening, so we can't do anything with that yet. We've got some preserved food now, we've got some preserved elk cuts, and we've still got some bear left. So what we're going to do, I'm going to come up here. Let's just look at our tasks quickly, what the tutorial wants us to do. So hit F5 and it's asking us to cut down a tree. That's fine, because what we're going to do now is we're going to build a shelter, which is actually it's a little bit further down the list. So we're not going to build a shelter just yet. Instead we're just going to go to sleep here. Actually no, we're not. Sorry, I'm changing my mind here. We're going to cut some firewood. Yes, we are. We're going to cut some firewood. We're going to repeat that process a couple of times. Just cut some branches down from this tree. Just get a nice little stack. And we're going to move it a little bit away from the tree line. You don't need a shelter if it's not raining. You only need a shelter to protect you from like the wind and the rain and everything else, but it's still been fairly decent weather. We've been quite lucky so far. So we're going to build a fire. We're going to try and build a fire anyway. Try again, third time's the charm. There we go. Right, so we're going to cook, roast, and we're going to cook off these last bear cuts, and we're going to roast off this last little bit of bear fat as well. And that's going to be really tasty. So just have a look around. We're going to pass a little bit of time waiting for that to cook. Still being prepared. Wow. Smells like the roasted bear cut is ready. Excellent. And so is the bear fat. Wonderful. So that is our cooking done. Now we need to sleep. You wake up. We're a bit hungry, a bit thirsty, and we're warm. Excellent. So we're still in good shape. So we're going to come down to the water's edge and just get something to eat. Apparently this bear is bland, but hey, who's going to complain? It's good meat. So the bear skin, the first process of tanning is finished, so we're going to pick it up. We're going to go back into the hide working and we're going to hit tan the skin again. This is the next stage. So now we want to soak it, so we just need 10.5 pounds of water. So we're going to scrape off the tanning mixture and rinse the skin clean. Spend an hour doing that. The step is complete by late afternoon. After that, continue tanning the skin until the whole process is finished off. You could have done better, but you can't make good out of bad. So our skill would have actually let us do better. However, you can't take a bad quality skin and turn it into a good quality. It's just not part of the game. But what I am happy about our positioning is we have this right here. This fallen tree trunk. That, for the next stage of the process for tanning this skin, we need to beat it. We need to beat it, and for that we need a beater, which we actually have a mace, so we can just use that. We don't need to pick up a rock, but you need a work surface, so either a table or you can use a tree trunk. So that is fine. We are really set up for the next process. We're going to get this done. So while we are next to the water's edge, we need to take care of these injuries before they get any worse. So we're going to go into the physician and let's just go through. Apply a compress to the wound. It's not such a big deal, it's only a bruise. Let's deal with everything else first. So, shallow tear in the left hip. We're going to clean the wound. We got water, we don't have any herbs, so just hit escape to skip that part. You try to clean the wound. After treating the shallow tear in your left hip, you consider it healing quickly and easily. Excellent, so we're going to repeat the process. No, we don't, because that will tan the skin. We need to go back into the physician skill, and we're going to come back down to shallow tear in left hip, select it again. Now we're going to dress it. So again, we've got bandages, we don't have herbs, so we're going to escape from that. We're going to skip it, try and dress it. After treating the shallow tear in the hip, you consider it healing just fine. So that is fine. If you look down here, that little bar there, treated, green, we've done all that we can for it, and the state is between minor and serious. It's kind of around here somewhere. It's not too bad, and we think it's healing just fine. So now we're going to go down to the other shallow tear in our other hip and clean that one. Bear meat is a herb, didn't you know? After treating the shallow tear in right hip, you consider it healing quickly and easily. Wonderful. Shallow tear in right hip, dress the wound. Yeah, seriously. Come on, game. Bear cuts for a herb. No. There we go. Shallow tear in the right hip, you consider it healing just fine. Wonderful. We are not going to be doing too bad here. The only problem really is this fracture in the abdomen, which is interesting because, you know, I didn't really think that you had anything in your abdomen to fracture. It's a stomach. You have your rib cage, but that's your chest. Or thorax, as the game thinks of it. So, we're going to go to this tree here, which I believe is an alder, yes. So, from this we should get branches instead of twigs. Do we? Yes? Yes, we got branches. Spruce trees, you get twigs. Alder trees, you get branches. Rowan trees, you get branches. Birch trees, you get branches. You get branches from every other tree but spruces. Spruces, you get twigs. Branches are a lot more useful. Branches are used for a lot more things. Branches, you need to use them for arrow shafts. I think you might actually use branches in traps, a few certain traps. But the thing that we need it for right now is a splint. We need to splint whatever is fractured in our abdomen. So we're going to go to the fracture in the abdomen and it's going to splint the fractured bone. Again, what bone? There is no bone in your abdomen. It's wrong. So, branch and bandages. We've got everything we need. After treating the fracture in the abdomen, you consider it healing quickly and easily. Excellent. That's all we can do with that one. So that are all three of those treated and they're healing perfectly fine. The bruise in the thorax is not really a big deal, so we're going to leave that. I never really treat bandages. There's not a whole lot of point. So let's check on our bear skin. It's still preserving. It's going to be ready by late afternoon, and we're still early morning. We woke up really quite early. But we're doing well. We're rather warm and we're vigorous, so we've got plenty of energy. So now we're going to chop down a tree. So we're going to chop down one of these spruce trees. So for that we've got a hand axe, so that's fine. We're actually going to take off this mace, so we're going to hit Shift T to take off. I'm going to choose the mace. We don't want that. So now we're going to go into the woodcut, the Timbercraft menu. So if you need to know what it is, hit S and find it. It's M. Our physician skill has actually gone up. This little green diamond here means it's recently improved. So despite the fact that we are really low skill in it, it's actually going up. And our climbing has gone up as well, a little bit as well. That's good to know. So we are going to go into Timbercraft, which is Alt M. We're going to fell a tree. It cuts the one in the direction you're facing. The Timbercraft performance is most likely to succeed poorly, mostly due to being wounded. It's not that big of a deal. Yes, we are wounded, but it's not too bad. We're cooling down quite a bit. Right, timberwork task completed. The wood from trees in all various forms is a very useful material which can be used for many different purposes. You can continue processing the tree just felled with your Timbercraft skill if you like. Notice not every felled tree is suitable for every purpose. The main difference is whether the trunk is a slender one from a young or small trees or a big full-sized one. When working with lumber, the type of axe used often has a major influence on the required working time and the quality of the result. So I'll explain that in a moment. Do it yourself. It wants us to make something, that's fine, because we're going to do that. Oh no, we chopped down a big tree. I didn't want a big tree. I wanted one of these. I wanted a little small tree. We wanted slender trunks instead of a big one. But if I go back into the woodwork menu, I'll show you what it means. When you chop down a big tree trunk, you have other options that you can do from it. You can chop the trunk into blocks. You can then take each one of those individual blocks and split it into firewood, or you can take the entire trunk and carve it into a log, or you can then split a trunk into boards. So you've got different options that you can do, and each skill, there are a couple of different axes in the game. So you've got a broad axe, which is good for splitting boards. You've got splitting axe, good for splitting firewood. The menu gives you hints. Carving axe is good for carving. Splitting axe is good for splitting. Woodsman's axe is the big chunky axe that you want to use for chopping down trees and chopping trees into blocks. And then right at the bottom here you've got peel bark from a tree. Now these rowans here, or alders, sorry, these are the ones that applies to. You see they've got little grey trunks, as opposed to these over here, these rowan, no, they're not rowans, they're birches. The birches have white trunks, the alders over here have grey, and you can use their bark as a tanning material. So you go into M and you peel bark from a tree, it will peel off a sheet of bark, and then you can just use that when tanning a skin instead of the fat, which is good because then you can cook the fat and eat it, and it's a really good source of food. However, we didn't see those trees there earlier, or I don't know, you might have, but I missed them completely, so never mind. What we're going to do now is, let's have a look. That was right, I wanted a small tree, so we're going to go back over here and we're going to hit the repeat command to fell another tree, and we're going to chop down this little one. So now we've got some slender trunks. You see the difference? Big one, little ones. These just look like staffs. So, what have we got? We've still got a couple of cords. That's going to be useful because we'll need those. All our food's looking good. We've got branches. What could we make? What does it want us to do next? It wants us to make something. So let's make something. Let's have a look. What do we want? Weapons. What will it take to make a short bow? A board, an axe, a knife, and tying equipment. Okay, so I could split a trunk into boards. But let's have another look. Let's go back into craft, and no, not that one. We'll back into the make menu, back into weapons. Let's have a look at primitive bow. Just a slender tree trunk and tying equipment. We can do that. We can do that right now. So that is better than nothing. Let's do it. Yes, make it. Make me a bow. There we go. We've got a decent primitive bow. That's fine. It's not bad. It's not great. Fishing, excellent. This is what we wanted to come up. Now we can fish because it's going to give us a fishing rod. Next you need to try out fishing, a good and relatively easy way to keep yourself fed. You can fish with a fishing rod, a spear, or even a club. These are active methods. You can fish passively by using nets. Now find a suitable water area like a lake or river and use your fishing skill. Before going fishing, you may want to eat some food if you have any, as it's more comfortable to wait for a catch on a full stomach. So you will passively just sit there passing time as if we were waiting for our food to cook. So while we're here, we're going to just eat a little bit of food. We're going to eat a roasted bear cut. We're going to eat one of the bland ones, get rid of them quicker. Actually, we're going to eat this roasted bear fat. Now look at the weight, there's less than a pound of it there. However, I bet that'll fill us up. Yep, completely filled us up. It's plain good roasted bear fat. So it wasn't particularly tasty, but it was good. Good. Best bit of bacon, that is the fat. Right, now we're going to have a quick little drink. And we're going to fish. So going to the skills menu to find it. If you don't know it, it's F for fishing, so Alt F. Active fishing. Select that. I'm going to select the fishing rod. Nice and simple. And now we're just going to wait there. And time will pass by. For ages and ages. And we caught something. We caught a perch. Complete. There are many factors that define how many and what kind of fish you'll catch, if you do catch anything. The fishing method and equipment used and your fishing skill do affect your luck, of course. Different types of fish are found at different depths of water, and some only live in lakes and others in rivers. Your chances of catching certain fish will also change with the time of day or night. These are some things that you'll learn as you gain experience with various equipment and tactics. So for instance, you can catch salmon in rapids. So now it wants to build a shelter in the woods. That's fine. We are going to leave it there for now. That is the end of this episode. We will start off by building our shelter next time. If you've liked today's episode, then please like and subscribe, show your support, and let me know that you want to see more. And until next time, I'll see you later.